Good morning. Today's score is going to be presenting email marketing common mistakes to avoid. So glad you could join us today. We'll be getting started in just about 5 minutes. We've got a lot of you jumping on early here, and I would love to hear from you. Go ahead and post in chat. Love to know if you're currently using email marketing or if you're looking at just getting started. Regardless, there's a lot of absolute, really exciting best practices and tips, resources I'm going to be sharing with you today. And we're talking email marketing best practices, regardless of which email platform you're using. So post in chat, let us know where you're from and if you're currently using email marketing or just getting started. We're going to be talking a lot about really key factors that are critical to the success of your email marketing. It's such a great resource for entrepreneurs and small businesses because it's such a great return on investment, and it doesn't take a lot of time or energy, especially if you're utilizing automated tools like we're going to be talking about today. And it looks like some of you are just getting started. We've got attendees from Las Vegas, from California. Don't be shy. We want to know where you're from. We've got an attendee from Long Island. Welcome. So regardless if you're marketing to businesses, to consumers, if you're just getting started, if you're a larger business, email marketing is really something I recommend for all businesses. And you don't have to wait till you have thousands or tens of thousands of contacts in your database. You can be very effective from the very beginning. So again, we'll be getting started here in just about 3 minutes. Score will share a great video that highlights all the amazing resources that they provide to entrepreneurs and small businesses across the country. And then we'll be jumping right into our webinar today. We'll have plenty of time to answer your questions. It's really designed to be an interactive session today. So looking forward to getting started here in just a few minutes. A lot of people just joining us here. Again, we'll be getting started in just about 2 minutes. Our SCORE webinar today is on email marketing common mistakes to avoid. So if you're just joining us, post in chat, let us know where you're from and if you're currently using email marketing or just getting started. Looking forward to sharing a lot of great tips and resources with you today.
Starting or growing a business can feel exciting, confusing, and overwhelming, sometimes all in the same day. And today there are more tools than ever to help. You can ask AI for a checklist, a marketing idea, or a quick answer. But your business is not just a checklist. It is your time, your money, your dream, and your future. That is why a real human mentor still matters. A SCORE mentor can listen to your goals, understand your challenges, and help you think through what makes sense for your business. From the first spark of an idea to writing a business plan, improving your marketing, understanding your numbers, managing growth, and planning what comes next, SCORE is here to walk alongside you. Mentoring is available at no cost, no pressure, no sales pitch. Just experienced guidance, practical advice, and a relationship built around helping you succeed.
It doesn't matter where you're at in your business journey, whether you're starting, you're growing, or you're a mature business. Every company has a unique set of opportunities and challenges. SCORE mentors are here to help you think out these issues, develop a solution, and implement that solution.
You do not have to build your business alone. Request your free SCORE mentor today. With SCORE, your success story can start with one conversation.
Good morning and welcome to our webinar today. So excited you're able to join us on this Friday morning. And some of you, I guess, are on the East Coast, so maybe it's a little later for you today. We're going to be talking about email marketing and common mistakes to avoid. There are so many great opportunities for businesses, small businesses like yourself, or entrepreneurs to utilize email marketing to very effectively grow your business, to keep on top of mind with your audience, and to help nurture your leads and get those sales and conversions. Good morning, I'm Victoria Byrne. I'm the founder of Creative Marketing Services, and for over 18 years, our agency has provided a wide range of services to businesses of all sizes, from custom website design and development, to getting found online, to driving measurable results through any digital marketing such as SEO, Google Ads, social media, and of course, email marketing is a key component. And we do quite a bit of branding and graphic design services today. So I'm really excited in our presentation today to share you absolute best practices, tips, resources, whether or not you're just getting started, as many of you indicated you are, or for those of you that are already utilizing email marketing. And I invite you to connect with us at Creative Marketing Services. You're going to be getting a copy of this presentation as well as the recording, and SCORE will be sending that to you in the next 48 hours. I'm also a Constant Contact certified solution provider, and today we're going to be talking about email marketing best practices across any platform. So while today's event is sponsored by Constant Contact, it is best practices regarding on which email service provider you are using. So a quick overview of our agenda today. We're going to jump right into our webinar, and I encourage you to be posting questions as we go through our event. Specifically, use the Q&A box so I can be addressing your questions as we go through our webinar, and we'll have a dedicated session at the end. And as I mentioned, check your inbox in the next 48 hours. SCORE will be sending you a recording of this presentation as well as the presentation slides that you can download and refer back to. So let's start off with some basics, right? Why email marketing? Is email marketing still a viable option? Absolutely. It is one of the best ways for businesses to be able to connect with your audience. In fact, 53% of small businesses use email marketing to find and retain new customers. And you really can't beat it. For every dollar you spend, the average return on investment is $36. It's an incredible return on investment. And as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about best practices today and common mistakes. You know, you can have the best plan, but if you have some of these common mistakes, it could be derailing your efforts and your results. So keep in mind what we're talking about is using an email service provider. There's so many that are out there, but you absolutely want to use an email service provider. And there's so many to choose from that are very cost effective. A lot of them have free trials or little to no cost, you know, $1 for every $36 return on investment. And it allows you to keep in compliance with your emails that are being sent out. Professional, great designs that you can easily create and send your emails. So keep in mind that 88% of people are still checking their email on a daily basis. And email marketing is incredibly reliable. In fact, email marketing gets delivered 97% of the time, as opposed to when we're looking at organic social media. So if you're posting on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook and you're not paying to boost those or running ads, the reach is typically about 2 to 6% of your audience. So social media is still a very important part of any email marketing and leveraging those two together, but just know that you're going to be more effective with your deliverability with email marketing. Plus, you have the opportunity to send very targeted, personalized messaging. So we'll get into that a little bit here today. So a lot of you indicated you're just getting started. So I just wanted to take a few minutes at the beginning of our session today to highlight some absolute keys for success, and then we'll get into some of the other initiatives and common mistakes to avoid. First and foremost, plan for success. One of the keys with using any email service provider is you can pre-schedule your emails to go out. Ideally, you're sending out emails at the very least once a month, keeping top of mind with your audience. But I'm going to show you today a lot of other very effective techniques to drive even more engagement, more business through very targeted email campaigns. Excuse me. Number two is you've got to design it for today's audience. So many more of your readers are pulling up their emails on mobile. So we're going to highlight that very quickly in terms of key components of success. Making sure we're really focused on the strategy for every email you send. What is the initiative? What is the goal that you want to achieve for that email? And making sure you have very strong calls to actions. And then, of course, huge benefit of using an email service provider is you're able to measure your impact. You're able to test, try new elements, try new calls to action, new messaging, new offers to see really what's driving the best engagement and ultimately the best results for your business. And of course, taking a look at how to grow your list and your business. So when it comes to best practices for email marketing, we're not talking about buying a list. You don't want to be seen as a spammer. We're talking about building a quality list of audiences that want to hear from you. So when we're talking about designing for today's audience, we want to make sure that you have a very strong handle on what is driving best performance these days. So you want to keep your emails very concise and very focused. So Constant Contact sends out billions of emails a year for their customers, and they have a really great formula for success in terms of what is driving best results. Your emails, you want to keep them focused. Picture a paragraph, a call to action. You don't want to include your entire blog article, for example, in your newsletter. You want to include a great header, a link to entice them to read more and ultimately drive them back to your website. So the more focused you can have your emails, the better the results you're going to see. So fewer calls to actions, more focus is where you're going to see more clicks and transactions as well. So when we're taking a look at your email, and again, using an email service provider, it's very easy for you to create an initial template that matches the look and feel of your website. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of best practices before we get any further. First of all, with your header, you want to have your from line. You want to make sure you're utilizing your company name, and think about how your audience knows you. If they know you personally, put your name, comma, company name. You've got your subject line, a pre-header. Think about a pre-header as a secondary subject line to even further motivate your audience to open your email. Best practice is that you have your logo centered or left and make sure it's clickable to your website. And of course, larger images, full width images, and make sure that all of your images are clickable. So every component in terms of logos, photos, graphics, you want to make sure they're clickable to drive the traffic to your website. Incorporate your header, your message, and your call to action. So those are the key components you want to have in your design. And of course, your footer, you always want to make sure you've got that linked up to your social media channels so that your audience can connect with you. And it's really that single column layout so that it's going to look great on mobile as well. So one of the key things to think about when you're looking at your email marketing strategy is we all know it's so much more cost effective to grow your business with existing customers. In fact, it's 5 to 25 times more expensive than retaining an existing one. So one of the easiest ways you can continue to nurture and retain your customers is with email marketing. In fact, just a 5% increase in retention can increase your profits from 25 to 95%. So think about when your email marketing strategy, as I mentioned, bare minimum, you're sending an email at least once a month, whether or not it's a newsletter, an announcement, a promotion. But think about what initiatives you can place to drive more repeat visit from your existing customers. And we'll get into that a little bit here. One of the other practices that I do recommend is a little while ago, in fact, back in April of 2024, Google and Yahoo implemented new guidelines for email marketing and emails. So if you want your emails to continue to arrive in the inbox of your subscribers, you want to make sure that you have setting up self-authentication with DMARC with your domain provider. Essentially, what that means is you go into your DNS records of your domain and you update that with your email service provider. So now it's authentic and it is coming from you. And it's absolutely a best practice. So if you're using Constant Contact, there's a link here on how to get that done. But for any of you using any email service provider, you can contact your email service provider and they can let you know how to get that in place. It's very easy to set it up once and then you're good to go from there. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and post in chat. How many of you are using AI content generators? And let me know which is your favorite. Are you using ChatGPT, Manus, right? What, Gemini? These days, absolutely. If you're not already using AI content generators for any of your digital marketing, including your email marketing, it's a missed opportunity. So highly recommend you utilize them because it's a great time saver. And it's a great way to really refine your audience's targeting and messaging as well. And a lot of email service providers like Constant Contact have a content generator already built in. So for example, I wanted to create an announcement. You enter a couple of keywords and it's instantly giving you a title, a description as a good place to start, even your content as well. Yeah, a lot of you are using ChatGPT, some of you using Gemini or Claude, and some of you not using AI at all. So I highly recommend you get started with it. So I just wanted to take a minute here because it is such an important factor these days in helping businesses with your marketing. So there's a lot of positives of using these AI content generators, regardless of which one you're using. Certainly can help you banish writer's block. You know, you want to be thinking about what type of content you want to be sharing with your audience, or maybe you have an idea, but you need it to expand on it. It's a great place to help you as a resource and really be more effective in your communications. And it can certainly help you with your overall results. And one of the huge benefits, of course, with any content generator is saving time. But just know there are some cons when it comes to using any AI content generator. You really want to make sure you take whatever content is being generated and put your own spin on it. Reflect your voice, fact check it, make sure that it really has that human touch because it's really only as good as the input. So you don't want to just copy and paste for any of your digital marketing from content generators because it's so important that you really put your own spin on it. So good opportunities, certainly if you need inspiration, if you need content ideas or a starting point, everything from your subject line or pre-header line, your message, your key calls to action, those are all great options to use AI content generators for. And again, you got to make sure that you're fact checking it and make sure that it is accurate. So here's another example of how you can use it. For those of you who, I know a couple of you indicated you're not using a content generator through AI yet, you can actually list out some bullet points. This happens to be in Constant Contact. You're listing out some of the key messaging that you want to convey. It's instantly going to give you a title and a description. Now, of course, what I said before, you've got to take that and put your own spin on it, but a great place to get started. So just keep in mind that AI input is only as good as the direction you're giving it, the prompts that you're giving it, and fact checking it. And so again, utilizing AI content generators for your email marketing or any of your digital marketing can be a great addition to your lineup as well. When you're looking at your AI content, you want to make sure, first and foremost, of course, goes without saying, that it makes sense, that it sounds like you, or really reflects your voice. You're considering your audience. You know, for example, if you are marketing to engineers, you're going to be writing from more of a technical perspective than if you're working on an audience for doggy daycare where people want to hear more emotion about their pets, right? Make sure you fact check it. And very importantly, one of the common mistakes I see a lot of businesses make is that they use too much content. So even though AI content generators are fantastic, you need to give them guidance. You don't want to put an entire very lengthy message in your email marketing or your social post. So you want to make sure that you're adjusting accordingly as well. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into across the board common marketing mistakes that I see that can really limit results. And again, leveraging our experience working with industries of all sizes and industries across the board. So the first common mistake I see for small businesses is sending emails inconsistently. So the key is put together a schedule and send your emails consistently. So start off, for those of you I know that indicated you're just getting started, best practice is you're sending at least one email a month. If you're going to be sending out newsletters, send them consistently every single month. Don't kind of first of the month, last of the month, skip over, sending them consistency. Also take a look at what your audience is. What type of messaging do they want to hear from you, and what's the right amount? So for example, if you're a restaurant and you have a daily lunch special, your audience probably wants to hear from you on a regular basis. Versus if you're an IT professional provider providing cybersecurity, maybe your audience maybe doesn't want to hear from you every single day. So tailor that. One of the things you can do is when you have your audience subscribe, you can have them subscribe to different lists. Maybe you want to see the weekly tip or the daily update or my monthly newsletter. And that's going to give you the indication of what your audience wants to hear from you. But it's always very important to set proper expectations. So let your audience know when they're signing up for your emails, whether or not it's through your website, through your social media, through any of your print material, how often they're going to hear from you. If you're not sending emails at the bare minimum at least once a month, you're not being kept top of mind, and your chances are your competitors are. So you also have great opportunities to send very targeted campaigns, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Where we are seeing best performance across businesses of all sizes is sending more emails, but it's not just sending more emails to your entire database. And I'm going to get to that a little bit. It's being very strategic about sending segmented, targeted campaigns as well. So first and foremost, you got to be sending your emails at least once a month. Now, if you're going to do promotional emails, here's a great technique you can see. So maybe you have an upcoming promotion. You can send one email out as an announcement about the offer, or even a teaser that's coming up. A second email is the reminder about the offer, and the last email goes out is don't forget. So you're really giving your audience the full opportunity to take advantage of that special offer. So think about how you can use that technique versus just sending an email once. Now, another common mistake is using generic subject lines, because we all know there's a lot of emails in your inbox. And so what are you going to do to stand out from the crowd and to grab their attention so they open it now? Because really that kind of falls into three categories. Are your audience going to be opening your email now, later, or never? If they open it now, of course, you have a best chance to get that conversion. And when I speak about conversions, I'm talking about your audience taking action. They're clicking through to read that blog article, or to sign up, or to register, or to buy today. If your audience doesn't open it right away, maybe they'll say, I'm going to open it later. Well, later sometimes becomes never. So really what you want to do is focus on creating captivating subject lines. Believe it or not, a more important factor on whether or not your email gets opened is who the email is coming from. So again, that's why I mentioned earlier, make sure you have your company name in the from line, or think about how your audience knows you best. If they know you personally, put your name, comma, company name. So that's going to actually be more important, because if people don't realize who the email is coming from, they're not going to open it to begin with. But once they recognize it's coming from you, let's focus on using very captivating subject lines. You want to avoid using generic subject lines, such as the June newsletter. That doesn't really tell your audience what they can expect in terms of the content. Think about what's going to motivate them to open your email now. Create compelling, standout subject lines. And the key factor is keeping your subject lines concise, keeping it less than 6 to 10 words. Usually about 7 is ideal, because so much of your emails are going to be read on mobile. The subject line actually gets truncated, so it gets cut off. So instead, use a subject line followed by a pre-header. Your pre-header is your secondary subject line, and I do recommend for best results here, keep that concise as well. Also take a look at the first couple of words. It's going to capture your audience. Think about creating a sense of urgency, but don't overabuse that. So an example, today only, 30% off, 3 days to save. I have 2 spots open for today. Those types of great opportunities for creating a sense of urgency to get your audience to take action now. However, you don't want to overuse that because then people will start ignoring it as well. Okay, let's see. What is a pre-header in the subject line? So let's take a look at that here. I can show you. So your pre-header, the first field is your from line, and that's going to be your company name. The second line is your subject line. And then the third line is a pre-header line. So the pre-header line actually is like a secondary subject line. So again, we're talking about using an email service provider, and you want to make sure that you're populating your pre-header as well as your subject line to get that extra motivation to get people to open your email. Personalize your subject lines whenever possible. So for example, if you have your audience's first name, you can of course put their first name. Mary, take a look at the special offer just for you would be an example of that. But we can also look at much other ways that you can personalize your emails. We'll talk about here as well. Now, another great way to capture your audience's attention is to use emojis, but use them sparingly. Maybe one, I wouldn't use more than 2 emojis. And if you are going to use emojis, put them at the beginning of your subject line so they kind of capture your audience's attention. Another opportunity for subject lines, it's very easy to test subject lines. And because email marketing is so cost effective, it's even more effective to test your subject lines. So today I want to take a few minutes to share with you absolute proven techniques and some of our subject lines that really drive best results. So be creative with your subject lines. If you don't have your audience's first name in your database, use you or your, right? Your only chance to get this deal today, for example. We talked about creating a sense of urgency. If you're a nonprofit, look at ways you can pull at their heartstrings. Look at how you can pique the interest of your audience. And certainly you can ask a question as part of your subject line. And another opportunity is using numbers. 3 things you need to know about your next recipe to be successful, something along those lines. Now, in terms of items to avoid in your subject lines, you do not want to be seen as a spammer. So first and foremost, do not use all caps in your subject line or your pre-header line. Using all caps, number 1, online is like you're yelling at your audience. Number 2, it will trigger a spam filter. So in other words, your email has a higher probability of going to your reader's junk box as opposed to their inbox. Also, avoid using excessive punctuation. So even if you can certainly use 1 exclamation point or $1 sign, but if you use multiple or even 3 periods at the end, that can also trigger a spam filter to go into their junk folder. And first and foremost, I should say, you never want to mislead your readers. Today, it's all about being authentic. So make sure your subject line is representative of the content that you're sharing within the email. So I wanted to share with you some great subject line ideas that absolutely help drive more opens and engagements. Number 1, think about the top appeal for your audience. For example, 7 must-haves for fall. We talked about this on occasion. Use creating a sense of urgency. Only 12 seats left. Get yours before midnight. Personalization is going to help you get even better results. So again, even if you don't have their name, what you need to know about personal finances. Don't be shy about asking a question. How can we help your business grow, for example? Another opportunity is exclusive appeal, an exclusive offer just for you. And of course, staying in the know. 13 signs you're budgeting wrong. So all of those types of techniques are great ways to be able to be testing your subject lines as well. And in terms of personalizing your subject line, this happens to be from within the dashboard of Constant Contact. You can drop in when you click on personalize, when you're creating the subject line, and you can drop in your audience's first name. So as long as you have their first name in your database, it will personalize that for each individual it's going out to. Just make sure when you add a name field like that it reads smoothly. Common mistake I see a lot of businesses make is they literally just drop in the subject line and drop in the person's name, and it doesn't flow very well. So some of you were asking about subject lines and pre-header lines. This is the example of where you can drop in an emoji, list out your subject line and a pre-header line. You can indicate who the email is coming from and what email address it's coming from as well. And again, you also have the opportunity to use emojis. So within Constant Contact, there's a lot of different emojis to choose from. But if you want a much broader range of emojis to choose from, I have the link in the bottom here. It's Emojipedia. It's a free resource. And again, SCORE will be sending you a copy of this recording as well as my presentation slides as well. Couple more questions coming through in terms of the pre-header field. Yes, a very important factor for any of your emails because it's giving you that secondary factor. So your email service providers should have the ability for you to do both a pre-header as well as your subject line as well. Now, another common mistake is failing to resend your emails to non-opens, because as much as we'd like to believe that everybody's going to open our email when we first send it, that's just not actually the case. They might be busy, they might have other things going on. So take advantage of being able to automatically resend your email to people that didn't open it the first time you sent it. And you can do this through your email service providers where you can pre-schedule this. Years ago, you used to have to manually do this, but now when you're scheduling your email to go out, you can also schedule it to resend to non-opens. Here's the key to success is you want to wait at least 3 to 4 days. So if somebody hasn't initially opened your email in 3 or 4 days, then you can resend it to non-opens. A great opportunity is also to change the subject line. By default, it would say reminder and then whatever the subject line is. My take on it is if in the very first email they didn't open it, here's your opportunity to get their attention with trying a different subject line. So also be mindful of weekends, holidays, when you're scheduling your resends to non-open. For example, if you're marketing to other businesses, you might not want to do your resend to non-opens on the weekends because your audience maybe is not really paying attention to their emails at that time period. Another common question I see coming through also is, when is the best time to send emails? Well, that really depends. It depends on your audience. So first and foremost, for those of you, I know a lot of you are just getting started, think about sending your emails between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday, I should say. I don't see great success with sending emails on Monday because people are coming back from the weekend, they're catching up, their inboxes are flooded. But if you're sending emails to other businesses, send them early in the morning, or a great tip is like at 1 o'clock when people are coming back from lunch. But if you are marketing to consumers, it's a little different, right? So a lot of retail, we see great success by sending out emails first thing on Saturdays because people are waking up on the weekend. What are they going to do? So again, the key is you can continue to test and try new times, new days to see what's going to work best for your audience. But be mindful of, your audiences and the different time zones as well. See, is there a question? Is there an app or program you can recommend for emails to see if the receiver read the email or not? So great opportunity with your email service providers is you're going to get reporting on if your audience opens the email. But more importantly, and we'll get to this a little bit later, are they taking action when they open your email? You're going to be able to see if people have taken action by clicking on any of the key components within your email. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Now, another tip for you is to get more visibility to any emails that you send. So for example, in your email service provider, once you've actually scheduled your email to go out, you can click share and share it on your social media channels. What a great opportunity to get more visibility. So think about, and it's not for every email, right? You might be doing exclusive offers or segmenting that it's not going to be appropriate to share. But if you have an offer that you're sending to your entire database or a newsletter, great opportunity. What it does is allows you to connect with your social media channel, and it will post a link with a little preview on your social media channels. So great opportunity to get some more eyes on your emails as well. In terms of running tests, so again, because email marketing is so cost effective, I highly recommend your continual testing for optimal performance. So you're missing out if you're not doing A/B tests. So A/B tests are also known as split testing. So in other words, I have all items equal except for one component. Maybe I'm just going to test different subject lines. The reason why you only want to test one element at a time is, of course, if you were testing multiple elements, it'd be very hard to pinpoint exactly what caused the change or the improvement. And taking a look at easily creating your first email, making a copy of it, and sending it out to your audience. But it's a great way to continue to test different elements. So let's talk a little bit about the importance of some of the key elements you can be testing with your email marketing. First and foremost, we just talked a lot about this, the importance of your subject line and testing different subject lines. Look at testing your images or your calls to action, right? Is 20% off going to perform better, or $5 off, right? That would be a good example if you're testing an offer. Some of your design components, the length of your copy, or the tone or the style of your messaging. And very importantly, another key component I would prioritize is your date and time that you're sending. Continue to test with your audience till you really kind of see that sweet spot of where you're seeing the most engagement and click-through rates as well, and looking at your reporting, which we'll talk about here in a little bit as well. Let's see, a couple more questions coming in here. You mentioned businesses like finance, IT, regarding the frequency of sending out emails. They're a business and want to be sending out emails on a regular basis. So again, absolutely send at least one email per month. And we're going to get into a little bit here, a couple minutes, about the importance of doing automation and click segmentation for personalization as well. In terms of questions about an email service provider, are we talking about Gmail or Outlook? Great question. So an email service provider is not going to be Gmail or Outlook. That's your mail client. What you want to use is an email service provider. As I mentioned, there's so many out there. Obviously, one of them is Constant Contact. There's all sorts of different ones that are out there. My best recommendation is to do a Google search and really take a look at a lot of the different options that are available and whether or not they provide personal support. A key component is, if you're going to be doing your email marketing yourself, you want to know that you have a great team to be able to reach out to. So do they provide online chat? Do they provide phone calls? You know, that's one of the key reasons I'm a big fan of Constant Contact, is because you can pick up the phone and call them, and they have live support that will help walk you through. And another best practice I would recommend for those of you just getting started is you can utilize free trials for these email service providers to kind of see which one's going to be best for you. But again, they're also cost effective and a great way to be able to effectively communicate with your audience. Now, another key factor, of course, we talked about is testing your subject line. So I wanted to give you some specifics on that. So for example, and again, this happens to be within Constant Contact, but any email service provider provides a lot of these options. I can test my subject line before I really send it to my entire database. So for example, come up with what you think is going to be your best top choice for your subject line. For example, promoting this webinar, avoid these email marketing mistakes. Now I can click on subject line recommendations. And thank you to AI, it's going to give me some additional subject lines that I can test. And from there, I'm going to select the second subject line. And I'm going to say I want to test 20% of my audience with the first subject line, 20% with the second subject line. And then once you receive the results, now you're going to have a winning subject line that you can send to the remaining 60% of your audience. So very easy, very cost effective to test your subject lines. All right, we've got a couple more great questions coming in here. Let's see if is it better to include fewer images, even with 2 to 3 images? I'm hearing people tell me they have to opt in to see images to their email. Great question. So absolutely, less is more. The more effective email campaigns, picture, a paragraph, a call to action. So the more images you have, the more calls to actions that you have in your email, the less chance people are going to click through. So I do recommend a nice, large, wide width, full width image that's clickable on your site as well. In terms of the emails not loading or the images not loading for your readers, they just need to enable images that first time. And then from there, you're going to have those images. And that's why it's a best practice to use live text. So you're actually typing in the text and your graphics or your images. You do not want to put all of your images and your text into a single graphic like you would a flyer and load it up and send it. Because if that one image doesn't load, nobody's going to be able to even know your content. So it's a best practice that you're using a combination of images and text that you're actually typing into your email service provider as well. Now, here's a great opportunity. If you're not already utilizing automation, I highly recommend prioritizing this. So well beyond just sending out your newsletter, for example. If you want to see best results, think about sending a welcome email. A welcome email that automatically goes out to any time you have a new subscriber, whether or not they've signed up for your emails, through your website, through a QR code or social media. The reason why is welcome emails drive about the best results that you're going to see in your email marketing. They drive about 320% more revenue. And think about it, it's at the time your audience just signed up, so they're expecting to hear from you. So the absolute best practice is that you have an automatic email that's going to go out to your subscribers. Best thing about this is you're setting it up once and it's automatically going out. So think about what kind of lead magnet you're going to incentivize your audience to want to provide their email address. We don't want to just say, hey, sign up for my newsletter. You're not going to see many people sign up. But if you gave them an opportunity to get a promo code, a free download, that's that great incentive. So have that built out in your automated email. Just like this great example from Domestique Financial, they're offering a free download for visitors that come to their website, and it's cash flow before profit. So as soon as that goes out, they're automatically getting that email. Best practices that you have your automated email send out immediately. So I wanted to show you some other examples. It's good to have an initial single automated email that goes out, but if you really want to nurture those new leads, those new subscribers, getting them excited about your products or service, we really see best performance when you're doing a welcome series. So I want to show you what we do on our website. When visitors come to our website and opt in to learn more about our webinars, the very first email goes out automatically within seconds while they're still on our website when people sign up. And key to your automation emails is you want to use what's referred to as evergreen content. In other words, I'm not promoting next week's webinar in that automation series because that would be dated and I'd have to go back and update that email and keep track of that. Rather, we're highlighting our whole lineup of no-cost digital marketing webinars, and we're inviting our subscribers to click through to our website to see the entire lineup where they can register. We wait an entire week before we send our second automated email, and we're highlighting one of our most popular blog articles. So we're not including, again, the entire blog article. It's a great image, a hook, a link to read more, because ultimately from your emails, you want to drive conversions and get people to your website. And then a week later, we send our third automated email. Again, this is all set up once and working 24/7 for you. The third email gives any new subscribers the opportunity to schedule a complimentary marketing consultation. And we're also using great use of our testimonials for social proof and highlighting some of our testimonials. So utilizing those type of automated welcome emails can be very effective in driving more business for you. Now, if you're marketing to consumers, absolutely still a great practice. Here's a great example of Little Windows, and they offer a wide range of products to create resin jewelry. So their very first email that goes out to new subscribers is not only giving them a special offer for a promo code for their first order, they're highlighting a little animated GIF. It's not the actual video, but it shows in action some animation. If you're looking to get better performance and better click-throughs, incorporate animated GIFs. So that GIF actually links to their website where visitors can watch the entire video. A second email goes out 3 days later. So if you're doing e-commerce, we kind of recommend the cadence of every 3 or 4 days for your welcome series. And in this particular example, they're highlighting their entire lineup of project ideas to inspire their customers of all the things that they can make with their products. And the third email goes out 3 days later, and it's highlighting their full lineup of products and reminding them of the promo code. So these types of automated emails, fantastic way to nurture your new subscribers and drive more conversions, because 77% of automation users see an increase in conversion. So if you're looking to generate more business, you absolutely want to be utilizing those automation emails. Another common mistake we see is avoiding segmenting your database. So anytime you're using an email service provider, you have the ability to set up multiple lists so you can do some very targeted marketing. So rather than just having one list for your entire database, you have the opportunity to build up multiple lists. And this is where you can really ramp up your efforts from your email marketing to drive better results, because personalization drives 6 times higher transaction rates. And 52% of consumers are likely to switch brands if they don't receive personal communications. So let's give you some examples of how you can break down your database. Think about breaking it down. Maybe you have active customers versus new customers. Maybe you're going to do a series of emails marketing just to new customers and setting expectations for them. Inactive customers. So if you have somebody who hasn't been into your salon in 6 months or more, you can absolutely be very effective by doing what's called a win-back campaign. Reach out to those people, and it's only going out to those individuals. It's not going out to your entire database. Give them an incentive to come back. Think about all of the opportunities you have to break it down. Your leads, especially for those of you that are B2B, if you're marketing to other businesses, have an automated series that goes out after your salesperson has just gotten off the phone with one of your newest leads. You want to send some great information as a follow-up, highlighting your professional services, maybe sharing case studies, results. Schedule a consultation would be a great example. So think about all the opportunities. Obviously, if you're marketing to consumers, you can do birthday campaigns, which can be very effective as well. Or many of our clients are participating in trade shows. So they're doing emails that go out in advance of the trade show. And before they even go to the trade show, they have a great email that goes out to that audience ready to go. When they come back, they've built up that list of people that want to hear from them. And they're effectively sending out a dedicated email immediately after they get back from the show to follow up with those hot leads as well. Another opportunity you have is what's called click segmentation. I would say a lot of businesses that I connect with and across the country are not using click segmentation. So this is a very important factor that you should be incorporating within your email. So let me explain exactly what this means. Click segmentation is letting your audience self-segment. So they're telling you what they're interested in based on a click that they're taking from your emails. That puts them on a new list and can trigger automated emails just to them. So let's look at an example of this. When I'm creating the email and I'm going to create a link for my button, where do you want to drive that traffic? Place on your website, you drop in that link. Now you have the opportunity to click Enable Click Segmentation. If you click on that, and again, this happens to be within Constant Contact, but this is offered through many service providers. I'm going to create a new list called Web Design Prospects. So now I'm going to send out my email to my entire database. Does your website stack up? Are you interested in having us review your website? Now I can gauge the interest because anybody who took action and said, scan my website is now going to be added to that new list. So now I have a dedicated list that I can market to. I can send an automated follow-up email series just to the people that were interested, give reasons why they should scan their website or evaluate their website, highlight a unique aspect, push that, schedule that consultation. And that third automated email is a great opportunity to leverage, again, testimonials, reasons for working out. So this is where I was mentioning earlier. If you're using this kind of personalization, it really can have a huge impact on your bottom line as well. Now, in terms of driving more signups, getting more people that are interested, that actually authentically want to hear from you, you need to make your website a priority in terms of getting conversions, getting people to sign up for your email. So if you're not focused on getting email signups from your website, you're really missing out, because let's face it, people visit websites, they're doing their research, they're going to check out you versus your competition. They might not take action or buy today. So having an email opportunity, email sign up opportunity on your website is a key component. So taking a look at having a static website sign up form for your emails is okay. It gives people the opportunity to see that you have an option to sign up. If you want to drive better results, you're absolutely going to want to use what's called a dynamic pop-up form. You've seen these, right? You're a first-time visitor to a website, it pops up. It's giving you an incentive to provide your email address. We're not just saying sign up for our newsletters, get a free dessert on your next visit. By submitting your email address, you'll also stay up to date on their happenings and special offers. Great incentive. These dynamic pop-up forms, I should say, when they're done properly, we see upwards of 180% higher conversion rates. You want to build that quality email database and nurture those leads. Key with these forms, as I mentioned, you want to have that great incentive. The fewer fields you require, the better. So email address. If you need to have their name, that's fine. And essentially you set this up once on your website, you connect it to your email service provider. And now if you have those automated emails, it's automatically going to go out to them. So in addition to using your email service provider to create those types of forms, another great resource I can highly recommend is called Opt-in Monster. It is a paid service that you would connect your email service provider and your website with, but it provides a lot more advanced customization and options than many email service providers. So it's kind of like taking it to that next level. With Opt-in Monster, they have paid the paid account, and it starts about $29 on a monthly basis. But what it does is allows you to create these really customized dynamic opt-in forms, exit intent forms, spin to win, sweepstakes, all sorts of great information. But essentially, you're providing that incentive. One of the reasons why we prefer Opt-in Monster is because it allows you to do really advanced settings. Like you're only going to have your forms display on first-time visitors. Where these dynamic pop-up forms kind of get a bad rap is when they're not done properly. If you've been to a website, every time you go to visit it, the same form keeps popping up, even though you've already signed up. That's when those aren't effective. But if you're doing them properly, it can absolutely be a game changer. So here's an example of 5-Star Pilates and Fitness. When first-time visitors are on their website, they don't even have a specific offer. It's get special offers, fitness tips, and more. And when they sign up, they're instantly getting emails. Now, a good opportunity that you might not already be utilizing is called an exit intent form. So this is very common for e-commerce. So when somebody goes to your cart and doesn't check out, they're going to leave your website, a pop-up form appears. Also consider utilizing this if you're a service-based business. Wait before you leave. A pop-up form will appear before they close the browser, and it gives you that next chance to get that conversion while they're still on your website. So really taking a hard look at how to get more conversions and more business from your website by integrating your email marketing as well. See a couple more questions coming in here. Is it better suited to products or businesses? So absolutely what we're talking about with these dynamic pop-up forms and opt-in forms, for any business, whether or not you're marketing to consumers or businesses. You just want to tailor your lead magnet accordingly. So for example, if you're marketing to other businesses, maybe you're going to give them access to your webinars, like I shared our example, or a free consultation, or a download, or a white paper. Versus if you're marketing to consumers, maybe it's more based on a discount or value add if they sign up as well. Now, when it comes to your calls to action, having either an unclear call to action or including too many can absolutely hamper your results. So think about, again, less is more when it comes to your email marketing. Have a single call to action. Here's a great example of collision repair shop, and their call to action is book now. They're giving an incentive of 10% off. Call to action is book now. If you want to see better results, you're going to include a button as opposed to just a link within your email. Also very important is when you're first pulling up your email, whether or not it's on desktop or mobile, make sure you have that clear call to action above the scroll before you start scrolling down. And as I mentioned earlier, make sure all your images are clickable, driving traffic to your website, whether or not you're doing special offer, maybe a giveaway, you want people to sign up for a registration. Now, I know some of you are e-commerce. A big mistake is not connecting your e-commerce shop to your email service provider, because key component for success when it comes to e-commerce is email marketing. Now, any of your email service providers are going to have great integrations, regardless if you are on WooCommerce and WordPress, if you're on Shopify, if you're on BigCommerce, you can connect with your email service provider very easily. Here are some of the benefits of connecting your shop with your email service provider. You can segment your customers, right? It's going to connect. So now you can drag and drop your products very easily into your emails without having to re-upload them to your email service provider. You have great tracking now. You can see exactly what kind of sales are being generated from any particular email. And you can do abandoned cart emails as well. So here's a great example of that. From a single email, we can see on Shopify that this business generated $4,700 in sales in the last 7 days. And it gives you the breakdown as well. So it gives you a lot of ability to do more advanced targeting as well based on your audience's purchases. So another example I wanted to share with you today is the abandoned cart. So for example, Sparkling Laundry does a great job. If you don't like to do your laundry, you can call them. We'll come pick up your laundry and deliver it the next day. So if I go ahead and start placing my order, and I've started the process, but maybe I got distracted, or I'm going to shut down my browser. I'll come back later. This is what I'm talking about before in terms of being very effective. An exit intent form. Wait before you leave. And your email address will give you a discount for that first order. Well, that's a great incentive to continue the checkout process. Great opportunity to save that order. An automated email goes out, gives them the promo code, and drives more business automatically. You can also do a series of abandoned cart emails to your audience as well. And the beauty of this is, again, it's automated. So you're setting this up once and it's actually driving more business very effectively for you. And keep in mind that emails drive results. You don't have to have thousands or tens of thousands of emails. This is a great example. This was a brand new business going to be opening their doors. They were starting to grow their email database by doing teasers leading up to their opening. And they had just a couple hundred emails, and they sent out their very first email, and within minutes, they booked their first appointment. So again, really focus on just sending your emails. Don't wait till you have a huge database, because it can be very effective. Think about how many more people you have to reach to drive those results as well. And before we get to our remaining questions, I did want to share some additional tips to even further boost your results. So as we talked about, less is more. Picture a paragraph, a call to action is a great layout for your emails. Include interactive elements like animated GIFs, like I'm showing here. Think about engaging your audience through polls, through quizzes, asking them for feedback or reviews. Certainly, if you're incorporating any videos in your email marketing, include a screenshot, or even better, an animated GIF. So it looks like your video is starting to play. The key is you're driving that traffic to watch the video back to your website. Don't drive them to YouTube, because YouTube is very distracting. Always put your video on YouTube to get visibility. But when you're doing email campaigns, you want to keep your audience laser focused, drive them back to your website. Test different days and times, and prioritize growing your email list. Every touch point is an opportunity to grow your list. And for a lot of businesses, we're seeing great success when they're leveraging their email marketing with text messaging. And so many email service providers do give the ability to provide text. It's not for all businesses, but certainly a lot of consumer-based businesses are really seeing great results with that. And lastly, I just want to highlight the importance of using your email service provider to your ability to send out these great professional looking emails, but take a look at the reporting. That's the key factor. You'll be able to see how many emails you've sent, how many were opened, how many people clicked through. These days, you'll be able to see your email performance breakdown very easily from the time your email gets sent out. The tracking begins. Take a look at what emails were getting best performance versus not, which emails got better click-through rates. These days, more important is to focus on, are people taking action when they open your emails, as opposed to just your open rates. And that's going to tell you how well you are performing. And of course, with your opens, it's going to let you know if people are interested. More importantly, again, if they're clicking through. That's why every element, every visual in your email, you want to make sure it's linked to your website, to a specific page, so you can really gauge and see, are people clicking through or are they not? If so, you want to make changes accordingly. As we talked before, make sure that you're using the resend to non-open feature, so that you are reaching and engaging with more of your audience automatically when you're scheduling your emails to go out. And just know, again, a key component of using your email service provider is it's helping you keep in compliance with the CAN-SPAM Act. So for example, you need to be very familiar with one of the key elements of that is if somebody writes back and says, unsubscribe me, or if you're using an email service provider, every email includes the ability to unsubscribe. That's perfect. It's letting you know somebody is unsubscribed, and it will no longer send those emails. If somebody manually emails you and says, please remove me from your list, you need to remove them from your list within 10 business days. Otherwise, you could be hit with a fine of up to $8,000 per email. So again, just a great opportunity to keep in compliance by using an email service provider. And also take a look at your bounces. Bounces indicate an email was not delivered. Many times it's because it's a non-existent email address. So take the time to reach out to your audience, get their updated email address so that you can continue to send them information. A couple of other great resources, of course, if you're using Canva, Canva is a phenomenal resource, very cost effective to create very professional looking visuals. So any of your digital marketing visuals are so important these days. And of course, you can connect in Constant Contact with your Canva account. So when you're creating these great graphics and visuals in Canva, you can instantly connect them to your campaigns in Constant Contact. A last resource I have recommended for you. Some of you are asking, how do I create an animated GIF? Well, one of the resources you can use is Canva. Another one is Giphy. It's a free resource. And again, you will be getting a copy of the presentation slides as well as the recording as well. So again, choose your email service provider, but you need to be using an email service provider. They have amazing templates you can easily customize and really bring your brand to life. And once you've created that great template, you can simply copy it and send out your dedicated emails as well. So let's go ahead and turn it over to our remaining questions. And in the meantime, I invite you to connect with us at Creative Marketing Services. You can scan the QR code if you want to receive our upcoming emails where we're highlighting our upcoming webinars. And you'll see how those automated series of emails work. With SCORE, I have a couple of upcoming webinars that are available at no cost on July 24th. If you want to get the latest and greatest about what has changed in search and getting found in local search and SEO, GEO, and AEO. And on August 14th, I'm going to be talking about what's working now in digital marketing. Again, those are available at no cost. So let's turn it over to our remaining questions. How do I start an email list? That's a great question. For those of you that are maybe a startup business, start with your friends and family, of course. A good opportunity is on your website. Have that incentive for people to sign up, drive quality traffic to your website. Think about offering a sweepstakes or an enter to win. And part of that is going to be that they're providing their email address. But really think about every touch point is that great opportunity to build that database as well. I'm starting to lose my voice here. Is it better suited? Oh, we've already talked about that one. See if there's any final questions. When we come to testing your subject lines, do you split test your audience or different emails? Great question. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that. You can create one email, make a copy of it, and then just change the key image, right? Or a call to action. You would have to split your database manually. If you're doing something like testing your subject line, if you're using a service, as I shared with you today, like Constant Contact, you can actually just create that email once, and there's fields that you can populate to test your subject line, and then see the results and then send it to your full database as well. In terms of the different categories of emails, a good place to start for those of you that are just getting started with email marketing is start today, because every day that you're not sending emails is a missed opportunity. Start with creating a professional email template that matches the look and feel of your website. Send out that database an email at least once a month, and then start with the automation. Start with that welcome series to nurture those new leads would be a good place to start. And don't let it be overwhelming. Just kind of tackle these initiatives that we talked about as you can, right? Start putting together some goals. Today, we talked specifically about common mistakes to avoid, but I teach a wide range of other webinars on email marketing as well. So keep coming to the webinars. So thank you so much for joining us today. Again, SCORE will be sending you copies of the recording and my presentation slides. Refer back to them, and we look forward to seeing you at a future webinar. Have a fantastic weekend.